present my final paper in UP. So this is one of my requirement in the University of Geology to present my paper, which is entitled Using ICT Tools in Teaching History and Geography at St. Anthony's College of Zambales. I'm Dr. Froilan MOBO of Philippine Nation Academy. So the study is, the purpose of the study is to assess and evaluate the teaching of history and geography in St. Anthony's School of Matain using ICT tools. Okay, so there are some techniques wherein it's being found out that according to research as well as assessment, the history and geography of St. Anthony's School of Matain, it was found out that there are some problems which is being encountered using the traditional approach. No? So according to that, so there are some problems which is being raised. No? The number one problem, as you see, is what type of the ICT tools can be used in teaching history and geography. That's the first one. The second one, to what extent do history and geography teachers use ICT in teaching history and geography? And then what are the perceptions of teachers on the use of technology in teaching of history and geography? And the next one is what are the effects of using ICT tools in teaching history and geography? And the last is what challenges do history teachers face in using ICT tools in teaching history and geography? So those are the specific problems which are being raised. Now the general problem is how do we answer or how do we assess, evaluate the old method using ICT tools. So on the methodology, as you notice, this the research design is this is the referred to procedure used by a researcher to select a sample. So I use here a cross-sectional question where this is a combination of qualitative and quantitative research design. This is a combination also of descriptive research where I employ some variables that can be counted. For example, the profiling of variables of all the teachers who handling the history and geography. And then for the respondents, so the study was conducted at the St. Anthony's School of Matain, Zambales. So specifically, the total population was 220. This is made up of 20 history and geography teachers and 200 students. Now, the researchers had chosen 5 teachers for the study on the basis that they had been exposed to any history and geography and were also ready to respond to the instruments. So the research instrument that we are used to collect data included questions for teachers and students will be both qualitative and quantitative data to safeguard the purpose of triangulation and completion of the said conduct of the study. And then the findings, so it shows on the first specific process that which is being brought up, is ICT tools that can be used in teaching history and geography was based on table 4 with the viewpoint of the teacher of using ICT tools in teaching history and geography. So as you notice, we have the following based on the mean and the frequency. So we have the frequency and the mean. So we have strongly agree, disagree, and agree. So most of them, 95% and 90% strongly agree that they use ICT tools as part of their tool when teaching history and geography, unlike the traditional approach. The next, on table 5, up to what extent use ICT in teaching history and geography. So this is to determine the extent of ICT tools in teaching history and geography. So teachers were asked to indicate in ways in which they use ICT. For example, in the use of monitoring students' progress. So we have 19 who responded for the frequency, and then for the percentage is 95%. Then for preparing records and of work and teachers' note, it's 18 teachers who answered that, then it's 90%. Then for preparing lessons, we also have 18%. 18 teachers who answered on the area, then we have 90%. And then incorporating lectures and animated slides, we have 18. That's 90%. 90%. And for making exam and grade entries, we have 19 teachers who answered that area. Then that is 95% for the main. And then checking and posting of school announcement is 17 who answered there. And it's 85% for the main. And communicating with parent, it's 18 teachers who answered there. So that is a total of 98% for the main. So for the table 6, which is answering on the part of specific problems of number 3, this is on the descriptive statistics of teachers' perceptions on the use of ICT tools in teaching history and geography. So on the statement there, so as shown on table 6, so we have the following on the part number 8. I feel I can perform my duties efficiently without using computers and internet when teaching history. So part of that, we have that to answer that. So we have a mean of 1.38, a standard deviation of 0.53. So as you notice, I use a frequency and mean and standard deviation for us to assess the quality and the quantitative approach. So the use of computers internet has enhanced my teaching in history and geography. So we have the mean is 4.5. And the standard deviation is 0.71, and for using computers, which uses wastage, time wastage in preparation of routine reports, so we have the mean is 4.85 and the standard deviation there is 0.21. And then for using ICT requires retraining, which wastes a lot of class time. That's 1.38 for the mean and 0.53 for the standard deviation. Then the funds being allocated or invested in ICT can best be applied in faculty development and other school facilities. So we have a mean of 4.38 and a standard deviation of 0.43. So as you notice, this comprises that most of them uses ICT tools in teaching history and geography. And unlike when they use the traditional approach, they tend to be bored. Then for the last table, effects of using ICT tools in teaching history and geography. As you notice, we have those statements that ICT tools just makes history less exciting. So some of them are meaning that it's really effective. And then students participate meaningfully in class when ICT tools is used according to their teacher. So they some of them also answers yes, no, we are agree. So we have a mean of a frequency of 17 and then an 85%. And then for students, think critically about historical events when ICT tools is used. So we have those data. And then so all in all, as you notice, they agree on those perceptions. Then for the conclusions and discussions, so the integration of ICT tools in history and geography, education can therefore present the subject in a manner that allows students to compare and contrast to the past, and then relate them meaningfully to their lives, and inculcate positive advantages for a better living. Then for successful technology-based integration in history and geography education, teachers need to be aware of the different types of technologies that can be used to enhance the teaching of history. So through frequent in-service and training and seminars, history teachers can be exposed to a variety of ICT tools and how it give emphasis to the subject. So history and geography teachers therefore need to be adaptive and creative by knowing how best to diversify the use of ICT tools both for instructional and under academic purpose. So which means that when we employ ICT, for example, using software applications, internet, or other technology devices, we can use them as part of our alternative way. Then it's really effective to use that according to those data that I have gathered. So that's my short presentation. I hope you do you have any questions too, sir?
Kaya di ba minsan kasi ang ICT ang problema, yung availability mo.
Yes, sir. Availability.
That's the problem. Tapos minsan, medyo kukunti.
Kukunti.
Diba? So, maaaring yung books pa rin.
Actually, isa sa mga nakita ko rin na areas na nagiging na great areas sila na pwede improve. Kasi some of the schools, especially that is other part of the government level, sometimes meron talaga mag-allocate ng transfer. Pero as we know, that the education right now is learner-centered, dapat talaga nabibigyan siya ng talaga bibigyan ng emphasis. Kasi for the 21st century learning, talaga nag-focus po siya talaga sa facilities ng school. Kaya sana ma-address nyo. Kasi as we look back, talaga napakahirap talaga magturo ng history kasi kung titignan natin kung yung traditional approach compare with the new generations, talagang babalikan po natin talaga napakahirap po. Sometimes, napaka-boring. But if we're going to use those technologies that we have, definitely some of the students might be interested and then they might easily, if we're going to compare the statistics doon tsaka ngayon, talagang malaki pagkakaiba. Kasi we have students na millennial na eh. They use technologies as part of their routine. So if we employ that, definitely they would appreciate using those approaches. For me po as as IT at the same time as a social studies major. So, may tanong pa po. So ito lang isa sa mga ano ko po, sa mga yung paper na present ko kayo ng paper or may subject ko yun. Hindi lang po, thank you po.
Thank you.